If you're experiencing issues with being awkward in social situations, you need to watch this video fully. I've personally experienced a lot of issues with being awkward myself in many social situations, and I know how it feels like. I know how it feels like to be around a million people and still feel alone. I know how it feels like to feel like you're awkward and you don't know what to say exactly. And so the advice that I've figured out is going to change the way you think and consequently change the way you act as well in these social situations that you're put in. And so what I want you to do the next time you're in a social situations or in that zone with a group of people or with someone, even just one person, it's usually even more awkward if you're just with one person by yourself, because it's a one-on-one talk and he can't talk to anyone else but you. So what I want you to do is this, right? Focus on him. Don't focus on yourself. Stop thinking about yourself. Stop being selfish and focus on him, because that will change the way you look at things. Now, what I mean by that exactly is, for example, you can ask him a question, and after he answers to that question, whatever the answer is, ask him another question about his answer or regarding his answer. So, for example, you ask him, did you watch the football match today that happened? He'll say, yes, I watched it, for example. Then you'll ask him another question about that answer that he answered. So you'll say, what did you think of it, for example? That's an open-ended question. That's good too. Questions that begin with what do you think are open-ended questions which allow him to speak more than you do, which makes the whole situation more awkward. Less awkward, especially if you're the awkward person and he's more extroverted. So just ask him more questions about the answer that he gives, and that will really change the way you look at things. That will also change the dynamic. It will make him speak more in that group and in that social occasion, and will make you speak less, which is consequently good, as it will provide you with exactly what you wanted, which is to talk less about yourself, be less awkward, and feel more social. That social anxiety that you have will be gone when he is the one speaking mostly. Also, another piece of advice that I can give you is, do not feel pressured to speak at all times. A lot of people cannot bear quietude. They cannot just simply be quiet because they are afraid of quietude. They're afraid of that feeling of silence, and they feel that the situation gets awkward during silence, and so they try to speak and fill the vibe up with anything. But that's incorrect. That's the incorrect way to deal with that social situation. So what I would advise you to do is that when you're both quiet, when nobody is really speaking, when you're silent, do not be the first person to speak. Do not initiate the talk, because when you initiate the talk in silence, it will seem like you're insecure, it will seem like you're anxious, it will seem like you're not comfortable with silence, and that will make you seem more awkward and less dominant. So focus more on him or on them, and stop focusing on yourself. Keep asking questions. Don't ask just one answer questions where they're supposed to answer like yes or no, and ask questions that are open-ended, that allow him to express his opinion about a certain subject, or allow her to talk about a certain thing. Keep that in mind, because it will change the dynamic, as I said. Be the one who talks less in the group. If you're an awkward person or an introverted person, do not try to talk a lot. You can ask questions, but do not talk about yourself a lot, because it will come out. It will come out that you're awkward. It will come out that you're anxious. It will come out that you're insecure. So talk more about them. Everybody loves when you talk about them. Everybody loves when you ask about them, because it shows care and it shows love. And so that's what you will do in order to hold the situation together. Now, if they ask you a question, you can answer normally, but try to make your answer a long answer. Don't just answer with one word, because it will seem like you're either aloof and distant, or you're just anxious and awkward. So I would advise you to just answer normally, and also you can answer with a question if that's the thing that works with that certain social situation that you're in, as answering with questions is also good. Now, don't make it seem like an interrogation, but if you answer with a question, that will put the focus on him again, which is good for you. Now, if you're an awkward person like me, you'll understand these advices, and you'll be able to put them as they're applicable in your own life. And I would advise you to use them in more social situations, and do not be afraid to speak your mind. Do not be afraid to ask questions in the comments. Do not be afraid to do that. If you're, for example, going out with someone and you don't want that activity that you're doing to be awkward with them, or that social situation to be awkward, what you can do is go out to eat, because when you're eating you can't really talk much, and so that's one of the good things about a certain invitation. So it's a good invitation to invite someone to go eat somewhere, usually. Also, be a gentleman. You can pay for them, or at least try to pay for them. Try to seem like you truly love them and are showing care for them, and that you support them, and that's why you're asking questions about them, not that you're interrogating them. And one final piece of advice that I'd like to give is that don't be shy, and be bold. Be bold. So speak your mind completely and fully, without hiding anything, without trying to sugarcoat anything. Be open. Even when you're acting, like even with your actions, be more open, more bold, more brave, more courageous. Do not be a coward. Do not be reserved. Do not keep your body language reserved. Do not cross your arms or cross your legs. Keep your body language open. Keep your chest open. Keep everything open to the world, and look them in the eye. Make sure you're doing eye contact as much as possible, because that will show also confidence. And just be yourself fully. I know it sounds like bad advice and it sounds very wishy-washy and cliche, but be yourself fully when you're with someone, because that will make you less awkward and more confident. Do the dumbest things. It doesn't matter if they're true to your personality. Just be comfortable. Do not think that people will judge you, because nobody really cares about you as much as you think. Everybody cares about themselves and is thinking mostly about themselves. So do what you want. Be yourself. Do exactly what you usually do. Do not try to alter or change your personality or your characteristics. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you.